Hello, welcome one and all to the Astropub. My name is Paul Berserker1, Batman Shelley, your humble host and space bartender here at the Astropub, your space bar at the end of the universe. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. We got a good one for you. Happy holidays. How y'all doing? Well, we'll be doing Happy New Year soon. We'll be streaming for a bit. Then the plan is for us to stream Friday for Boxing Day, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday for longer and like kind of play the game. Yo, 07 to all, and to all a good show. Glassor, you don't have to stay awake, buddy. What's the holiday special ball at the bar this week? Eggnog. Just eggnog. Decorated my stuffed copian. Here to hear about Concord 42. We're going to talk about it. The mistake. But I'm going to do it as a capsule. So this might be a shorter one. I know I always say that, but it is. There's really not a lot of news. You know, 4.5 is still 4.5. It's good or bad. It not perfect. And then we're gonna read the monthly report. Read the letter from the chairman and talk about it. That's really the big news. Yeah, no, the letter was less revealing than I thought it would be, which is good, but also more revealing than it should have been. There's a couple things you need to read between the lines for. Like, for instance, engineering, inventory, crafting, and social tools. Those are what we're going to get next year. Because it says, and more. Those are the four we're getting. We're probably not going to get one of those. And I'm going to give you a hint. It's social tools. Yeah, it's social tools. Because we can't have nice things. Can we talk about Tony Z now? No one's been talking about Tony Z for a while. It isn't perfect, but it's not the worst. The funniest things is I did a launch sequence podcast for kind of like a year in review with Space Tomato, and it never fails. It never fails that someone on Space Tomato's comments calls me a white knight or a CIG defender or a justifier or something like that. Which I find fucking funny because in that same episode, I literally said that next year is going to be half-ass Citizen. Like, what? yeah, seriously. I think I'm confirming short marketing campaign means Squadron is going to get jammed in right at the end of 2026. No, it means they're stupid. Which, again, jamming it in at the end of 2026 just means they're stupid, but yeah. People's definition of White Knight and Star Citizen is effectively, do you have anything positive to say about CIG? If you say anything positive about the developers or Chris Roberts, then you must be defending CIG either because you're a cultist or because you're getting paid. Which is funny because from the other side of the perspective, there are plenty of people who say anytime you criticize anyone from CIG, it means you must be a hater and you must be self-absorbed. Rule of the excluded middle. I don't consider myself an enlightened centrist or anything like that either. I don't intentionally go for the middle. I just go for what I see. I try to put myself in the shoes of both sides, especially the side that I tend to be more against, which are the people who tend to say CIG is doing nothing good. Hey, Tech. How you doing, Mr. Oxmore? Yeah. I just spent too much bloody money. I wanted to succeed. I guess it makes me a white knight. The way I've always seen this is that anytime I criticize CIG, I criticize CIG under the context that I want to see CIG succeed. Like, for instance, I'm about to rip Chris Roberts a new fucking asshole because Chris Roberts is a terrible fucking marketer. He's a great fundraiser, fucking and hype guy, awful like marketing person, which is ironic because those should be interchangeable. But the difference is that you can get up on stage and be very personable. That doesn't mean you know what the fuck you're doing when it comes to actually releasing something. And that's not even me saying like, oh, well, I know better. But like, I don't know, doing enough research to know that there's a lot of people out there who do know better. And they all say the same thing, that Chris Roberts is making a mistake and their team at CIG are making a mistake by what they're going to do with Squadron. It's dumb as shit. I don't say that because I'm like, I hate Chris Roberts and CIG and Squadron, and I want to see them fail. No, it's because I don't want to make the same mistake, because I loved Titanfall 2 and it got fucked. I don't want to see CIG accidentally into another Titanfall 2. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with sponsored streams with Squadron 42. The problem is that it doesn't transfer to sales. A great example of this is a game. I forgot the name of the game, but there's this game that this company paid Mr. Beast, got a bunch of Minecraft creators and a bunch of other people to play this game in a tournament, and whoever won was going to get $250,000. So they paid Mr. Beast millions of dollars for this advertising campaign. It was this sort of Fall Guys-esque clone sort of game. Do you know the peak amount of people who played that? Meat King might be the game. Yeah, it might be the one. Do you know what the peak player count was? Or King of Meat, I think is what it's called. Yeah. I don't know which found the exact one. I'll double check to make sure this is the right one. Yeah, it was King of Meat. Here's the team charts, y'all. They paid Mr. Beast a fuck ton of money, and this is their all-time peak. $320 people. No. 320. Not 1,000. 320. Total. To be fair, that's only the PC. I mean, I have some serious doubts that King of Meat is somehow an all-time control, like massive like success on console. This is something you should show to content to game companies when they go, we should get a content creator who's pretty big. How about X, Y, or Z? Content creators, paid sponsorships, do not move fucking like units. They work to get eyes sometimes on your game, but the content creators you sponsor or you ask to help out have to already give a shit about the game, which is why they're not a replacement for fucking advertising. That's the thing. It doesn't matter if it's a good or bad game. Squadron 2 is going to have the most polished, fun game in years in order to have a low-key marketing push to work. No, like, that's not even the case. It's... No one will play it. Outside of the like hardcore fans, which is fine to a degree if you're like a Fallout or a Baldur's Gate or even something like King of Fighters or, you know, like a game that's pretty well known that may not have a huge like impact in the market but has a fan base, you know? Jin, it's going to go like this, dude. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, but this is something that, like, I'm going to criticize CIG for things. And I don't criticize CIG because I'm like, yes, fail. I'm like, don't do this. Please, God, don't do this. No, we're going to go over the letter. We're going to do it as a recording, so we'll do it as a capsule and talk about it afterwards. I disagree, J-Dog. Asmongold is radiation. He's radio fucking active. I wouldn't put Asmongold... I wouldn't, like, buy a fucking nail promoted by Asmongold. That dude has his own problems, and I would not at all. Like, that's not even a personal issue. It's just like looking at his posts and the kind of controversy he courts. That is a mistake. That's fine if you played it, but that is not a replacement for advertisements. Yeah, and if he said he's already going to play it, then why pay him? Yeah. I don't know, $1 billion scam game might attract some attention. Not the kind that you want. I really genuinely hope that CR is doing some advertisements and isn't doing what I think he's doing, which is going to be like, well, we just need word of mouth. Because the fundamental problem currently with I also need a haircut really badly. The fundamental problem with Squadron is that it is clearly a game that'll get a lot of attention when you give it attention. It needs to have the attention in order for it to garner attention. And the fact that they said, we've done enough gameplay trailers and other trailers that we don't need to do a heavy marketing push, tells me that they have no idea what the fuck they're doing. Because it's not an IP that is really well known. It's known by two types of people. People like us who play the game, who play Star Citizen already and already know Squadron, and people who think Squadron 42 is a scam. And it's been proven time and again, rage posting is a lot more effective at getting clicks than hope posting. So every single company that has or every single like games journalist organization that exists, plus every single YouTuber with even a slight axe to grind or just a low CPM month will put out this game took $1 billion in 13 years. That's the title. That's the title of every single stream, of every single video, of every single article. 13 years and $1 billion. Yeah, content be damned. And that's the problem that you face when you're relying on those people to be your word of mouth. Because it's a lot easier to meme post to a title to get attention than it is to post something legitimate. Hey, Sapper. We're walking to something spicy. We're just talking about a comment that Chris made on the letter for the chairman, which I'm just like, this is stupid. This is real dumb. Now that I think of it, every streamer will have that as their title for the first month. That's what I'm going to do. Like, I'd be stupid not to. It doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, Faux Chisel. That alone is going to make people think negativity. Because when you think $1 billion in 13 years to make, typically that's not a good thing. They said it's going to be, the same price as any AAA game. I still think it would be best to sell it at $60 or even less, $50. Because I think if you sell it at $50, that undercuts some of that current as well. Yeah, it was that, Sepper. I have a concern about that comment, because that tells me something that I don't think is a good idea. Good looking, there's plenty of games that are good looking though, Chops. It's not really necessarily just about good looking, it's also how it plays. It would be interesting to see the breakdown on how much money was spent on Star Citizen versus Squadron 42. You would never see that, Santa, because they're the same game. Squadron 42 and Star Citizen are the same game. The only thing that would be slightly different would be like the cutscenes, but the engine's the same engine. Any engine update that goes to Squadron's going to Star Citizen. Almost all of the content is going from like all of the flight and weapon balance stuff that we've been getting. All of that is from Squadron. Even the weapons we've been getting in game, like all of the Volt weapons, those are all Squadron weapons. A lot of the ships are Squadron ships, like the Volper or the Volper, whatever what it's called, the heavy Vanduul fighter. Plus the Shiv, you know. The one advantage that CIG has, the one major advantage that CIG has, is that the game just has to be good. As long as it's good and sold, then people will be able to, then it can exist off of word of mouth and slow positive buildup because they don't have to pay back a publisher. And before anyone's like, well, they have to pay back investors, they probably won't, or they will, and then the Calders will just invest more money into the company because that's what they've been fucking doing. So if they hype it well and don't fuck it up, they won't hype it well. They won't hype it at all. They could definitely hit $50 and still make a killing if the game is paid for already. It's all profit, really. And it would give them good positive word of mouth because you could be like, they're selling a 40-hour game, a game that's going to take 40 hours that looks this good, that has this cast for $50. Almost the anti-Concord. What was all this about a beta that came out of nowhere? No, they haven't reached beta yet. They've been very careful not to say beta. They've been saying it's in polish stages. They didn't invest a huge amount either, right? I think it's like $40 million is what they invested. But then they also tripled down by investing it again in other places. Step 1, do not screw over the fan base. Step 2, repeat step 1. How would they screw over the fan base of Squadron? Yeah, they're going to start the beta next year, is what they're planning on. I have no idea, like... I'm not a creative corporation. Oh, another Lost Soul. That's not beta. Is not Star Citizen. It's Squadron. So it's a completely different SKU in this case. I don't think they'll release in 2026, but I think internally they'll get pretty damn close. Well, the problem, Citizen Kark, is that there's some tax incentives where they got some tax incentives and where they have to have a certain release. They have to hit a certain point. Probably release is what everyone is saying, in order to not lose those tax incentives before a certain point. And that release is 2026. Those tax incentives are bigger than the investment. Beta is internal as per Xylo on Reddit. Yeah. It's going to be internal beta, not external. I did see Vincent Pella die. That sucks. In a fucking car accident, right? No, I get you, Alberto. That would be a good move. I've been saying that since they released it, is that it would be a good move to release that first level. Actually, since before they released it, because I knew what the prologue was. So I'm like, yeah, the prologue would be a fantastic thing to release, or the first level would be the fantastic thing to release, because it's not really a heavy story based. It's more of a prologue to what the story was going to be. What Paul is saying is we may have to burn down the UK government in retaliation. Don't worry, UK will do that themselves. I think the pressure is enough that Squadron's going to come out next year. Whether we like it or not, it's going to come out. It won't win Game Awards. It's not going to win Game of the Year or anything. Squadron is going to have too many things going against it. Number one, it's a game about into the military, somewhat glorifying the military. So you'll never get the extremely on the left folks to want to vote for it. Two, it has a 13-year history of controversy, and so people will not want to vote for it even if it's really good. Three, it has $1 billion in terms of, it's made $1 billion in terms of pre-sales. So no one's going to see it as a scrappy indie like Expedition 33 and stuff like that. I could see the soundtrack going for the Game of the Year awards though, because it's fucking amazing. It's the whole game, J-Dog. But the whole game is of Squadron 42 is 40 hours. The 3 parts we've talked about in the past, that CIG's talked about and I've talked about, where they've actually broken it into 3 different games, that was done a long time ago. So you're just getting part 1 of 3 parts, kind of like Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 sort of thing. Where like Mass Effect was a trilogy before it was even released. They knew that there was going to be a trilogy. I hate that stupid $1 billion number. $1 billion to build 3 studios, start an entire company, build 42 and SC over the course of 14 years. Yeah. Or 13 years by then. You'd break it down by year, it's like 130 mil a year. It's nothing for the size of the studio that CIG is. But that doesn't matter, because perception is reality. We were literally talking about that, Escape. Not spending money on marketing to try to increase your IP awareness is dumb and will blow up in their face. And if they try to do word of mouth exclusively, especially since it's pretty clear they're going to try to release around the end of the year, close to GTA, that will explode in their face. Because you're going to have to fucking hope that nobody else is releasing a game that will suck up your marketing, let alone GTA, before your word of mouth marketing before you go live. I think the no publisher thing, an entirely or mostly entirely fan funded element, might garner some positive feedback, even with the price tag and time, which they can tamp down with Star Citizen. They've tried that before; it doesn't work. You think those of you who already have Squadron 42 get all 3 parts? Nope. They said that when they separated the SKUs, that you will not be getting all 3 parts. You will be getting part 1. And if you backed early enough to get the expansion disc, which was behind enemy lines, you will get part 2 for free. ODST style drop pod. Thoughts? They're called nails. They exist in the universe and have existed for a long time. And CIG does not want us to play with them because they don't like fun. Doesn't matter. This is one of those things. It doesn't matter if it's PC or console. It doesn't matter if there's any crossover in terms of the whole communities. That doesn't matter. What matters is that CIG was always going to rely heavily on word of mouth. And if you're going to rely heavily on word of mouth, you need to make sure that nobody else is talking about anything else in terms of video games when you release. And GTA will suck up all of the room. People posting funny videos, memes, talking about specific events, social media, YouTube, Twitch, it doesn't matter. Shit's going to explode all over the place where you won't be able to get a word in edgewise. CIG's word of mouth marketing is why I missed the Raven and other cool stuff before I even started playing Star Citizen. Yeah. Even if GTA is bad, it will dominate. Yeah. We've said this enough times, J-Dog, that it's not even just games. It's going to ruin movies, television shows, books. I would not want to release any property around the time GTA is released because you're never going to get any social media or like word of mouth buzz. It just will be impossible. You know, the you know this meme? This is the meme you need to think about when it comes to GTA. GTA is the Raven in this conversation. Hey, villain. So maybe they just know they're going to fail, so why bother failing expensively when you can fail cheaply? That doesn't bode well for Star Citizen. That's like saying, okay, cool, so we're just going to, like, shut down the studio. I wouldn't be surprised to see Squadron 42 be pretty divisive, as it has years of controversy. But part 2 is when I think people have moved on from the scam herder talk to the likely dominant discussion. If CIG did proper marketing, no one would consider Squadron to be a scam. Nobody fucking knows outside of the small bubble of Star Citizen fans and haters what the fuck Squadron 42 is. Because CIG has done zero marketing of it. If they actually started to introduce gamers to Squadron 42 as Squadron 42, yeah, some of them will find out it's connected to Star Citizen, but the vast majority will just be hyped for Squadron 42, and when it comes out, they'll play it. Hey, Spader. Thank you for that 500 yen. No, of course they're not planning on advertising. That's what the letter for the chairman is pointed out, which just makes me want to smash my head against the wall. To be fair, we don't know what the call their money was originally for. We assumed it was for money. It was for advertising for Squadron 42 because they happen to own a bunch of advertising firms. A smarter company other than CIG wouldn't have made Star Citizen in the first place. Star Citizen itself is dumb. Nobody, this is also another one of those things that I've been over a lot. No one would make Star Citizen. Star Citizen is a bad like prospect for making video games. That makes it unique. They said no long drawn out campaign, but no campaign, not no campaign at all. True. The problem being is that if we're talking a very short campaign in terms of marketing campaign, which I have a feeling they are, especially since they are heavily reliant on word of mouth now, I fear they will not do a marketing blitz at all. And if you do a marketing blitz for like, say, 2 months or 3 months, that's not enough to get a new IP out the door. Remember, nobody knows what the fuck Squadron 42 is. And I really hope, but I don't think anyone at CIG is willing to sit down with the management and go, no one knows who the fuck we are. We may think everyone knows because we're in the circles where everyone knows what we do because we've been in these circles forever, but nobody knows who the fuck we are. No, they say straight up said it was for Squadron 42 marketing when people started panicking they were taking new investment. Where was that, Alberto? Do you know where they said that? Because I'd like to know. Because like I don't remember it being specifically said for Squadron 42 marketing. 6 months would be bad, but would be the best case scenario. Also, is a shit name, Squadron 42. Yeah, it's not a great name, but neither was Expedition 33, and it did fine. I wouldn't say 1 month. I would say probably 2 to 3 months. No, 2 to 3 months in terms of the marketing campaign for it to release. My guess is October, early October, specifically October 6th, 2026. Citizen Kark, to counter that, Titanfall 2. Citizen Kark says, Asmongold had a good point in saying that if the game is good, it will be received well. If it's bad, it won't, and marketing doesn't really matter. He is fucking an idiot. He's a fucking moron who has no idea how this works. Because Titanfall 2 is one of the best games of all time. And this is not just me fluffing it up. This has been like a consistent thing. Whenever a new person comes in to play Titanfall, they fucking lose their goddamn mind about it. Titanfall 2. It was marketed like shit, released like shit. It was released well. Like, the game played well. The game was fun when it released. But nobody knew about it because of how it was released and where it was released. And it died. Like, that alone should tell you that the Asmongold is not the gold standard upon which you should judge your gaming takes on. You think the campaign starts at CitizenCon and really a game released at Xmas? That would be a fucking terrible idea. So yes, that's exactly what's going to happen. So, 3 to 5 month campaign. If they're going to do it, they're going to have to go hard. They're going to have to buy a fuck ton of advertising. They're going to have to partner with other groups and other people to get the word out there. They have a lot of star power. If they can get those stars to go onto shows to talk about the game and show off the game, they will do well. The best case scenario is for them to announce it at Invictus for a release in October, and then spend the entire summer, which is the con circuit anyways, going to conventions, showing it off, going to places like Gamescom and showing it off, going to PC Game Expo, the PC game thing, and doing a trailer or a live demo. Going to other groups like podcasts or other advertisement venues or entertainment venues outside that are gaming related, that are not directly connected to gaming, and showing it off. The game has to be shown, not just talked about. It has to be visually shown and played before people a bunch of times, because gaming is a visual medium and gamers connect to visuals. They need to release trailers. They need to release gameplay demos. They need to release these funny fucking memes with the characters inside of them doing funny things, especially since the characters are Mark Hamill, Gary Oldman, John Rhys Davies, Gillian Anderson. They won't listen to me, Fish. They got their own idea. Yes, it will. If Squadron 42 did well, Star Citizen, the Scam Citizen stuff would not go away, but it would definitely reduce, because one of the things that you constantly hear people say is, if you bring up like, oh, well, other games have done, companies have done that. They say, well, those other games have released a game. Those other companies have released a game. So if Squadron 42 is released and it's good, decent, not awful to play, not just like in terms of gameplay, but in terms of like performance, then people will, it will like say, so show that CIG can actually do something like that. All right, I'm gonna just straight up here and say, stop talking about Asmongold in my chat. Not because I have issues with people talking about Asmongold, but it's a fucking crutch. And if you want to go talk to Asmongold, go to his chat. Go hang out with him. No, Star Power is not going to carry this, but it is a tool that you can use to improve the awareness. No, we're going to talk about the letter here in a moment. There's a Reddit post where Mark Hamill stood directly next to his own star in Hollywood Boulevard and not a single person recognized him. That's not the same as going online under the handle The Real Mark Hamill and posting videos of you on set with Chris Roberts talking about how people should go buy Squadron 42 connected to an actual gameplay trailer of Squadron 42. Yes, we're going to talk about the letter for the chairman here in a moment. Henry Cavill's there as well. That's my point. If you can't get Mark Hamill, talk with Henry Cavill. Talk with any of the cast members who are there. Sweet. Since they said engineering is the end of March, do you think they will add it to finish and improve? Engineering will never be done. It will be one of those things that will constantly be improved as they go along. It's never going to be just like how mining and salvage have constantly gotten updates and tweaks and stuff like that. The reason why it's through March is because they've got other things they want to add before it's really stabilized. But the cast is one part. It's all about getting people to see the goddamn game. If people see the game, they hear the game, they see the gameplay, they hear the actors talking about the roles they play in the game as the game is being played, and you have the developers doing, posts and the media team doing memes and even throwing congratulations out there to other games that are released around the same time. You could get a lot of goodwill. It's all about eyes on fucking eyeballs on the thing. I don't know, good term for it. That's what marketing is. At its fundamental core is it gets you to be aware of something that exists. And if the game is good and it will sell itself, that's great. But you need to know it exists. Get Henry Cavill to play the fucking game. Like, get a video of him playing the fucking game. Off topic, are you planning on doing the next Astro Historian video, B? I've been sick. I've been coughing a lot. This isn't a put on. This is just me when I talk too much. Chat can tell you. God damn it. So I've been putting off the video because I have to record the audio for it. Luckily, I had started recording the audio for it a while ago, so I have about 30 minutes of the hour to go. My plan is to do it this week. I don't think it's ideal, but I think I'm going to release the video on Christmas Eve, the Hurston video. It's going to be the complete history of Hurston Dynamics. So yeah. How does the game become good? CIG didn't say no marketing. The problem I have is I have a gut feeling, and gut feelings aren't true. Not always. But going with your gut does tend to tell you something's wrong or something's up. That when they say we're not going to be a long ramp up, that means that they do not plan on advertising it for more than 3 months. And if it's releasing in October and you're starting it in August, that's a real short fucking window to get a bunch of people's attention in an election year. So you have to share ad space with politics whom nobody gives a fuck about and doesn't want to fucking watch. Plus any other video game that exists. What did Phantom say? No. Absolutely not knowledge. A Super Bowl ad would be dumb as shit. Super Bowl ad is absolutely the worst fucking move. Traditional marketing in terms of television is not how you market Star Citizen or any video game. Any money that uses television ads in the year of our Lord 2025 or 2026 is a moron, is an idiot, should not be fucking doing this job. Because you also want conversion. I guarantee you that the vast majority of gamers do not watch the Super Bowl. Twitch is not the same thing as games. You know how many people on Twitch watch just IRL streams? How many people are watching Goonerbait on Twitch? A lot. All those people aren't going to sit there and play Star Citizen. I think Squadron will come out before GTA 6, but yeah. All right, you are old. You don't know what that is. Whatever it is, whatever you think it is, what Gooner means, it's not what you think it is. You are far too old. Who do you think the mainstream audience is? The mainstream audience that you would want to get for Star Citizen or for Squadron 42 release is someone in the mid-20s to late 30s who doesn't know Chris Roberts. Somebody who's a PC gamer who's interested in space and science fiction. That is a very small number of people. That audience is already pretty small. And a lot of that doesn't know Star Citizen because that audience isn't the ones that were exposed to Chris Roberts. Chris Roberts' audience is late 30s to 60s. Those people have probably already reached saturation. My guess is the average age that you want to go for would be something like 25 years old. Male, probably white, between the income range of $60,000 and $100,000. Lives alone or lives with or has a partner. And is tech savvy. Is a tech enthusiast. Starfield player might be a good crossover to a degree. Hey, Flying Buttress. I'm so far from all those things. Just because you're not in a demographic doesn't mean you don't belong. It's just that the demographic you're trying to shoot for is very important for trying to build up expectations. That's a good question, Widget. How much the target market of Squadron 42 already paid for it? I think not a lot, because I think the vast majority of people who would pay for Squadron don't know that Squadron exists. They stopped selling Squadron in like 2022 or something like that, and before that, when they split it off from Star Citizen and Squadron 42. Those were two different IPs, two different SKUs. Not a lot of people purchase Squadron. Most people purchase Star Citizen. Guy in my teams at GM found out I was big into Star Citizen, started calling me Admiral. Be right back. I gotta go to ping my Gen Z friends about all the y'all's reaction to Gooner. It's unsettling that they're younger than my stepdaughter. I don't think we'll be stuck in a bad release. There's no reason to doom pill when we do not know what the fuck is happening. We don't have any specifics. We don't know what their plans are. So there's no reason to freak out yet. Right now, what all we can do is try to be very firm with CIG and be like, I hope you know what the fuck you're doing, because there's a lot of things you could fuck up, and that will cause even more problems. I can speak somewhat to this one. Up to 2023, I put a free PC gaming rooms at conventions. Star Citizen was regularly showed, even as late as 2023. Most self-described gamers sitting down to play PC games still had never heard of Star Citizen. And I know from my own experience that a lot of people, when Squadron 42 was available to purchase, I would say there are large numbers of people in chat right now who don't know what Squadron 42 is. And there would be at least 3 to 4 people who'd go, what the fuck are you talking about? What is Squadron 42? Like, until that prologue release, most Star Citizen players didn't really know Squadron unless you were an old school fan. Yeah, I get you, Amos. Yeah, I probably have a couple of copies of Squadron somewhere in my account as well. And as much as I harp on about the success of Squadron's release, there's 2 things that are going to be true, like in terms of marketing. There are 2 things that are always going to be true. Number 1, as I said at the very beginning, every single person is going to lead with the headline, the game that took $1 billion to make, $1 billion in 13 years to make. That is the headline of every post, stream, video, a review of Squadron 42. No matter what, that is what they're going to lead with. Good or bad, that's the lead. You can't get away from that. And that can easily turn into Squadron what was it? What was it called? Concord 42. That's actually pretty efficient for cost per year. Yeah, but no one thinks like that, Ghost. That is not monkey activation. You have to think like an idiot. You have to think like your average person on the planet, which is big number, scary. Yeah, which means you're going to immediately have people who, no matter what, no matter how Star Citizen, if Squadron 42 releases and is flawless, Knowledge Lambo will be in this chat saying it's a failure because it didn't make $1 billion overnight or whatever. There'll be people who come up to make excuses as to why it's a failure, even if it's perfectly and flawless. Come on, Knowledge. You move the goalposts all the time. At least be self-aware. There will always be that discourse, no matter what. So you have to kind of deal with it. And the most important thing that CIG can do outside of marketing is getting the game to not suck, which is important for all the game in general, but like that is the most important thing. And if it takes more time to make it not suck, then you take the time. Rich coming from me? Yes, exactly. So those are the facts you're going to have to deal with. As a fan of the game, even if it's good and you enjoy it, you're going to have to deal with those two facts. The year number, year and price number will be the thing it's leading everywhere. And number two, there will always be people who will see it as a failure because it doesn't make its money back in 1 week or whatever. However, the advantage that Squadron 42 has is that if it's good, it doesn't need to make back its money in 1 week. It can make back its money over the course of a decade. As long as they keep selling it and putting it on sale on like Steam or Epic or whatever, all those sorts of things. But you can objectively say a game wasn't successful too. What? Copies of Squad 42, 11 star Citizen? Yeah. I mean, it does need to make money in the sense that it will supplement the ship sales of for Star Citizen to keep the lights on. Like the advantage of Squadron 42 being released is A, it's a released game, so CVs all around. B, it's passive income. Yeah, you will probably have to support it with patches every few months, maybe. But generally speaking, you won't have to really do consistent changes because it's a single player game. So, and C, because of that, you don't have to put a lot of manpower on it to keep it going. I mean, they already have the cards stacked against them. Look at Gin and Tonic, for example. He already owns Squadron 42 6 times over. That's minus their profit margin. Gin and Tonic, if it comes on Steam, will you purchase it on Steam? Especially if it's a special edition that comes with like a poster or something. Probably, yeah. I'm gonna buy it on Steam if it comes on Steam because I want it in my Steam library. I already have it in Star Citizen. Other people will do the same. You're talking about people who will open their wallets for $250 fucking ships. They'll buy a copy or two when it comes out, even if they already have a copy. Just to piss off Knowledge Lambo. But what's going on? I was saying this. I know it works. It doesn't need to make its money back at all. They already have money. I mean, they don't necessarily need to make all their money back right away. Where CIG will measure Squad 42's success based on the profit generated versus production costs. In gaming, the first week, first month sales are projection of that of the long term. Yes and no, Luna, but the one thing to remember is that it is a unique situation where they don't have to pay anybody. The Calders maybe, but like there's really that's about it. There's no production, there's no publisher who needs to get their money back. Because most games you have to pay all the money back to a publisher. So as long as it does well initially, reasonably well initially, gets decent reviews, then it has a chance to survive long term. But it has to survive initially and get known. No one buys a game if they don't know what the fuck it is. Knowledge. CIG hasn't told me shit. They have not told me to ban you at all. I don't think they told anyone to ban you. The CR develop arthritis signing all the physical copies boxes. The most I can think is somebody said, probably not a good idea to have knowledge hanging around in your chat for long-term success. That's the most I can think about it. You didn't hear that? I don't know what you heard then, man. Because that's not what I heard at all either. I didn't hear shit. The most I heard about you was somebody said, I love knowledge. I'd love to, I want socialism to succeed so that knowledge, so knowledge can be happy. Something like that is the most I've heard. All right, I'm gonna get some water. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna do the recording because I've been streaming for like an hour now. Yes, perfect. You're not gonna post me. You can whisper me it. I love how passionate the chat is. I love how this community freaking cares. It does. All right, be right. All right, chat, let's do this. Oh, the fun button's off? I'm sorry. I have to turn all this stuff off anyways. Oh, Twitch alerts are off too. Oof. I didn't know that. I'd forgotten about that. Okay, let's do the presentation. All right. Let's do this, chat. It's reversed. Nope, that was right. Hola, soy Paul Shelley. Feliz Navidad. I'm not going to continue in Spanish. I'm terrible at Spanish. I used to be fluent, by the way. Welcome to another Office Hours capsule. That's right. Capsule. This is a small segment of my office hours live stream that I do on Twitch at twitch.tv/theastropub, youtube.com/theastropub live on Mondays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Would love to have you come join us live as we talk about Star Citizen lore, news, and more. Today has been the big subject. We've actually talked a little bit about this before, but we're going to be talking about the letter from the chairman. At the end of every year, CIG releases a letter from the chairman, which is from the CEO, Chris Roberts, the guy who made the Wing Commander games and Freelancer, Starlancer, and Privateer, the founder and creator of Star Citizen, of CIG, if you didn't know. And every year they kind of done a wrap up where they kind of talk about what's going to happen, you know, the year that's gone by and what's going to happen next year, at least a little bit. So without any further ado, let's jump into the letter from the chairman for 2025, December of 2025. All right. We're going to be reading this entirely, word for word throughout the entire of it. So this might be a long one. And then we'll do a breakdown of what this means as we come along, just similar to our monthly reports. As we wrap 2025, I want to take a moment to reflect on the year and what it's meant for all of us. 2025 became the year of playability for Star Citizen. It was a year when more people played than ever before and spent more time in the verse than at any point in our history. That momentum did not happen by chance. It came from a focused effort to improve quality of life, performance, and reliability, and to make the gameplay experience more engaging and rewarding to return to. We started the year with two clear goals as a company: to improve stability and quality of life in Star Citizen, while continuing to deliver regular content updates and push Squadron 42 towards beta and release in 2026. I'm happy to say we made great progress on both fronts. We'll watch this video later, but simply just kind of an overview of everything. Star Citizen. On the Star Citizen side, 2025 saw a number of important pieces come together. We released not one, but two star systems in a single year, welcomed the return of the beloved landing zone Levski, and added new locations around the verse, opening more space to explore and spend time in. Server meshing was the key technology that made this all possible. With the release of 4.0.1 to the live environment on January 28th, we moved into a bigger, more performant, and stable universe. And while there are still a few hiccups with some legacy systems like the elevators and air traffic control that were built long before server meshing was conceived, server meshing itself has been working flawlessly since the beginning, a testament to the design and execution of the system by our network, backend engine and gameplay teams. Every day, it handles tens of thousands of people playing concurrently in shared instances of up to 700 players. For something that simulates everything to the level of detail we do, at the scale we do, in the first and third person, this is a truly mind-boggling achievement. Most other multiplayer games top out at between 50 to 100 players in a much more contained space than we allow you to explore in Star Citizen. And the MMOs with high player counts in the same instance don't simulate and render the world to the extent we do. As multiple servers now manage our vast universe, the individual server performance has greatly increased, creating a much better experience for all of you. And due to its design with a separate service that tracks the state of the universe for all servers and clients, it allows us to quickly recover from a client or server crash without losing your progress, which is a huge quality of life win. We also shipped more content and more in-game events than ever before this year. That includes the large-scale moments like teaming up to take on an irradiated Apex Valakar or coming face-to-face with the Ormandi, as well as longer-running storylines that helped add depth and context to the verse. The environments continued to evolve as well. Expanded weather effects and planetary conditions helped make locations feel more distinct and atmospheric, while improvements to characters, player interaction, and AI contributed to more intuitive experience. We also expanded the vehicle lineup to include 24 new vehicles, while continuing to improve the ships and ground vehicles already in your hands. Supporting all of this was significantly increased pace of delivery compared to previous years. In 2025, Star Citizen delivered 11 major patches and more than 40 live publishes, 147 PTU builds, and several tech previews. This new place allowed us to iterate faster, respond to feedback sooner, and deliver more content to play throughout the year. We closed out the year with the introduction of engineering in Star Citizen Alpha 4.5, adding new layers of interaction, decision-making, and responsibility to managing your ship. Engineering is an important step towards the deeper systemic experience I've always wanted to build, where your core coordination and crew truly matter. While future systems such as Maelstrom's physically based materials and destruction, more realistic shield gameplay with generators and emitters, and our upcoming crafting system will further deepen engineering, it was important to bring engineering into the verse now so we can begin refining the experience in the live environment. This is the first time we've heard about shield emitters in like 3 years. For those of you who don't know, we're not familiar with sci-fi tropes. The idea is that you have shield generators and you have emitters. You have a generator which generates the shield, and the emitters are the actual things that pull out the shield. So if you want to destroy a shield, you attack the shield emitters, so there's nothing to project, as it were. Which is interesting that they've talked about that now. They've also mentioned multiple times that Maelstrom is basically in Star Citizen, but it's not like working in Star Citizen. Like they have it like imported it into the Star Citizen branch and they're working on it and that kind of stuff. It's just a matter of having it in the game and having it working properly are two different things. While Maelstrom has been already in Squadron for a long time and working in Squadron, that's a single player experience, not one based over the network. So I'm sure there's a lot more complicated things to deal with when you're dealing with latency and networks and stuff like that. So, and crafting system, yes. I love this. This is the I forgot which one it was, but this was the one for Lazarus when it came out. Stormageddon. Finally, as a Christmas surprise, we quietly released the experimental VR mode in Alpha 4.5. What began as a passion project quickly caught people's attention, and the response from those who have tried it have been genuinely exciting. I've long believed that Star Citizen is a natural fit for VR because of how we build our worlds. We physicalize almost everything, keeping first and third person views consistent in shared universe, or keeping first and third person views consistent in a shared universe. That approach takes more effort, but it makes the experience feel grounded and real. It highlights the value of those design choices in a way that few technologies can. They talked about the emitters recently. How recently? I haven't heard him talk about it outside of like, have they talked about it in like Spectrum Post or something like that? Because they haven't talked about it in like ISC or SCL or even monthly reports in a long time. They talked when they talked about cap ship combat. When was that? Like June? Yeah. Anyways, by the way, for those of you who don't know, there's an old GIF somewhere around there, old video of Chris Roberts with an Oculus on, with two sticks on a couch, just going to town on those joysticks while moving his head around. It's a very funny GIF. So Chris Roberts has been very much a Star Citizen is going to be a VR experience or part of a VR experience since like 2012, since it was just like an idea when Oculus wasn't even fully released yet, before Facebook bought Oculus. So being able to experience ships, environments, and equipment at true scale with natural movement and directional audio adds a level of immersion that's difficult to capture on a traditional display. All the detail we put into our environments, props, ships, and gear really pays off when you're up close and personal. This is still an early and experimental step, and there's plenty we want to improve. We need to continue dialing in the diegetic UI so it feels comfortable and readable in VR, refine FPS controls so your input controls your body rather than where you're looking, and add more dedicated control support. These are solvable problems and the ones that we are excited to tackle. It's also worth mentioning that the new VR mode would not be possible without the engine and graphics work happening behind the scenes. Ongoing optimization efforts by our core technology group and our transition to Vulkan have made a meaningful difference, and without that work, I don't think VR would be running as smoothly in its first iteration. All of this, combined with a hard focus on bug fixing and quality of life features, has made Star Citizen more fun and stable and playable than ever, and the numbers back it up. This is the interesting one. I love these sorts of numbers things because I was in marketing research, so these are the kind of things that I like to dissect and look at. We had a record-setting engagement this year with more than 64 million hours played in Star Citizen, up from 48 million in 2024. I don't know if 2024 was better or worse than 2023 in terms of engagement. It feels like it was worse, but I don't necessarily know. You set new records in peak concurrency and unique daily users. We saw huge increases in every metric, including 40 to 60% increases in average daily users and average peak concurrency. We also saw huge improvements in server stability, with 57% fewer player disconnections per 1 million player hours compared to 2024. 2025 was truly the year of playability for Star Citizen. That's an important thing to highlight, I think, because a lot of people interpret playability however they want to. The main focus was that they want people to be able to play the game, log on, play, and not disconnect as much. Notice they didn't talk about the gameplay experience. They didn't talk about the bugs. They were mostly focusing on, can you get in, can you play, and the longer you play without disconnects. So it's less about the game itself and more about how long are you in there, bugs and all. So that can be a myopic approach. I can see this as like that seems like that was their goal from the very beginning. And clearly, when you say something like playability, people think whatever it means. So whatever they use for next year's moniker, it won't be this, but it'll be weird. All right, this is the part that got my hackles up. I'm not just for transparency. I never worked in video game marketing. I sort of worked with people who worked in video game marketing back in the 90s, which is nowhere near what we're doing these days, what people do these days. But I have enough experience to be a problem, put it that way. And my experience since I've started streaming and doing content creation and going to conventions and stuff like that has sort of like really gelled my understanding of how you market video games in this sort of situation, in this market as we have right now. So keep that in mind when I talk about Squadron. On the Squadron 42 front, our focus throughout 2025 was to build on the progress of 2024 and what we showed at last year's CitizenCon by bringing the game to content complete and closing out the remaining core tasks in preparation for beta. Now, it's important to note, this has already been clarified by Xylo, by Tyler Whitkin, Xylo. Internal beta, not public beta. Internal beta is what they're talking about. This does not mean you get a beta if you backstart Squadron. It means internal beta. All chapters are now fully playable from beginning to end, and we've been playing through the game ourselves regularly. Squadron 42 is a large game, over 40 hours in length, and it's becoming increasingly clear how special it will be once the remaining polish, optimization, and bug fixing is complete. That's an increase, because I believe Chris Roberts said in 2024 that it was like a little over 30 hours. The thing that they've mentioned in the past, it's not mentioned here, is that they may be also including side missions. Not every mission has a side mission, but there may be multiple side missions for every mission you do. And we know that a side mission is about 45 minutes to an hour. A mission might be about the same. So you're looking at, and we know there's about 20 missions. So an average of one mission and a side mission for every mission. Maybe some missions are longer. We don't know. So there is, and it's an interesting thing. And if it's over 40 hours, that's a pretty big game. I've heard people say like, oh, it's going to be like a Call of Duty campaign. It's like, this is bigger than like some RPGs in terms of deployments. So yeah. They reconfirmed branching missions in 2024 CitizenCon. That's also Chris Roberts' staple is branching missions. So yeah. Big part of what makes it possible is the technology we built at CIG over many years. The ability to move seamlessly from on foot into vehicle. You can fly around and move around inside, down to a planet or across star systems, all without loading screens, creates a level of immersion that's very difficult to replicate. That combination of close-up interaction and galactic scale is at the core of what will make Squadron 42 so unique. Just for some clarification, Chris is being a little cagey with some of these words, like all chapters now fully playable from beginning to end, and we've been playing through the game ourselves regularly. I do have some context inside the Squadron 42 team. No, I do not want to spoil anything. Yes, I actually know more than a lot of the Squadron 42 devs in terms of how the story goes, because each of them are siloed into their own thing. Long story, I spoiled myself years ago on the story, so I kind of know what's going to happen. Oh, sorry. I was about to sneeze there. I'm not going to be able to sneeze. It's going to be one of those things I'm going to start talking, I'm going to sneeze. 40-hour campaign. It says specifically over 40 hours in length. I don't know if that's estimated or not. Thank you, Idiocracy. I'll take a look at it. Didn't Xylo say he played through the game a decade ago? I've actually asked Xylo that question, and his response is a little different. The short answer is he could play through the game from beginning to end with placeholders and skips. The idea being that you could log in, get through the game, and it wouldn't crash, or it was blocked out properly. It's something he'd been doing as a QA for a long time as a way of sort of testing it out. And it had been his own initiative to do so, not CIG's initiative. So when he made that comment, he was making the comment based off of his own experience. And knowing Xylo as I have known him for like over a decade now, that tracks with how Xylo thinks. Xylo forgets that not everyone is necessarily fluent in game. So take it as you wish, if that's true or not. It could be Xylo, you know, what is it? Gaslighting me. I don't know. You didn't say a decade ago. I've known Xylo for like a decade now. It's 13 years. I've known Xylo for that long. I'm coming up on 10 years of streaming here, chat. So, all right. But going back to the folks I've talked to at Squadron 42 team, they basically said that earlier this year, the game would implode on itself if it went on for too long. So like 2 or 3 chapters and it might implode on itself. And that's what they were chasing down at that time. This was like in June. Things could have changed. But that is a very specific verbiage that moves along. He didn't say, we've played the game from beginning to end. He said all chapters are now playable from beginning to end. And we've been playing through the game ourselves regularly. I'd like some clarification on if he's played the game from beginning to end without any problems, because that is a very selective verbiage after what I've heard from the Squadron 42 team itself. Memory leaks, yeah, it sounded like it was just some issue they were just chasing down. It didn't seem like it was a big issue. It was just a pain in the ass that were going to take a long time to fix it out. So, all right. A big part of what this okay, I already went through all that. Equal important is the quality of the content itself, from writing and performance capture to characters environments, ships, lighting, sound, cinematics, and design. The level of care across the entire game is something I'm incredibly proud of. Combined with a deeply interactive systems, it creates an experience that pulls you into the world and keeps you there. From what I've read and what I've heard, that is true. It's good, solid. Not a groundbreaking experience, but good and solid. What continues to mean the most to us is the community that has grown alongside this journey. What continues to mean the most to us is the community that has grown alongside this journey. Oh, okay. You have given us your time, shared your perspectives, and chosen to take part in something that is truly bigger than all of us. It is the next great adventure where millions of like-minded explorers get to live among the stars, and we could not ask for a better crew. Throughout the year, hundreds of Bar Citizens events took place around the world, creating spaces where stories were shared, friendships were formed, and a shared passion for the universe came to life. We were fortunate enough to attend 24 of these in person, and each one was a reminder to take care of the care and creativity you bring to this community. These moments matter. They help keep us grounded in a way that we do what we do, and they continue to inspire and motivate us in ways that are truly rewarding. That same energy carried us through online. You organized racing events, watch parties, social meetups, and more throughout the year, bringing people together no matter the time zones or continents. Citizen on Direct was a standout moment for us, with dozens of watch parties happening around the world simultaneously. Despite the distance between us, it genuinely felt like we were more connected than ever. Platitudes, but yeah. Okay. Thank you for the time, patience, and passion you continue to share with us. Whether you joined us at an event, helped us test it in PTU, organized a gathering, or simply spent time experiencing the universe with others, you are at the center of our ambition and what makes this journey entirely possible. This entire journey possible. Yeah. I think that's a very good one. That's the 4.5 patch one. Yeah. All right. Eyes on the horizon. Looking ahead to 2026, our focus remains clear. We'll continue improving stability and depth in Star Citizen while expanding and connecting the core systems that shape how you play. From engineering to inventory, crafting, social tools, and other foundational features alongside expanding the playable universe itself. That already can tell us a couple of things. One, that is the list of what they actually know. They're going to do engineering, which we know they're releasing 4.5. They're continuing to work on it. There's been multiple directions of talking about this. So we know that multiple people have talked about it in multiple places. So engineering is still going to be worked on throughout the new year. Inventory. They have talked about the new inventory system basically like at points throughout the entire year. And they've actually showed off not only concept work, but actually work in progress work at CitizenCon. So we know it's probably going to be one of the first things or somewhere around the first half of the year, if not, at some point next year. Same with crafting. They've talked about crafting a lot. They showed it off multiple times. They talked about it at CitizenCon. So that's like almost certainly all those three are for sure. Then we have social tools. I wonder if social tools was mentioned mostly because players have been screeching every time CIG is like, we're going to do this big thing. And everyone goes, freaking do a social tools. We need basic MMO features, guys. Basic MMO features, please. Stop making me bash my head against the wall, please. But that does fill me with a little bit of hope that they might actually get that in there. Because of all those things, I think the social tools are the most important to your average player because it should allow for easier access to players getting together and more stuff to do together. Boop, 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 boop. All right. They also mentioned expanding the playable universe itself. Almost guaranteed Castra by the end of the year. Castra is almost certainly going to come out in 2026. Terra, probably not. I would be very surprised if Terra comes out next year, but almost certainly Castra is. Plus, obviously, the rest of Nyx. Selective mutes, please. I believe muting actually is available in game right now in the chat. I think there is some minor blocking available, but I've heard that. I don't know if it's true or not. Sapper is saying they added block feature in 4.5. So server meshing will become dynamic, allowing the mesh to reconfigure in real time based on player activity and server load. This evolution is foundational to supporting the large-scale group experiences we've always envisioned and will enable us to expand the universe even further. Our goal is to have thousands of players in the same shared universe instance. Components of server meshing systems are also being leveraged to deliver instance areas and experiences, allowing our designers to craft balanced content that integrates seamlessly into the universe. As we expand outward, we're also building deeper. Genesis planets represent our the next step in planetary tech, offering breathtaking worlds with some significantly improved graphical fidelity and denser, more dynamically assembled biomes. These planets are driven by the rules of nature and our designers, creating ecosystems that feel alive and authentic, combined with Starkitect locations throughout. Genesis planets deliver both the environmental depth and the gameplay density we need. Supporting this will be the new AI population management system that creates inhabitants appropriate to their local environment and enables more complex interactions between agents. Now, someone said in Discord that like rip Tony Z's system. It could be, or it could just be Tony Z's system. Because Tony Z's system said very similar stuff. So who knows? It could be the end of Tony Z's influence in Star Citizen and on new tools. We don't know. This approach to building living, breathing planets is key to scaling the game to heights we're aiming for. Most of that is stuff that they've talked about for years now. Starkitect has been something they've talked about for at least 2 years, if not 3. It's very important. It allows for like dynamically generated outposts, which then radiate out, where you don't just have like big you don't just have like outposts that's solo and there's nothing else. It'll allow for like sub outposts and all that kind of stuff. This sounds more like spawning NPC with gear and stuff based off locations. Yeah, that's hopefully that means no more Nine Tails operators somehow face tanking Daymar without any suits on whatsoever. We're also upgrading core systems that have been with us for years. As part of our item recovery work, inventory, insurance, and cross-patch persistence are all getting significant improvements. The focus is on making it easier to interact with your belongings while improving the stability and speed of these systems overall. These are integral parts of any MMO experience, and getting them right matters. Yeah, that all makes sense too. Item recovery stuff has been talked about for a while. They've showed it off in the monthly reports. Inventory, again, we've talked about that. They've been showing it off and on for this entire year. And the insurance issue with cross-pass insurance, like insurance, all of this stuff is stuff they've talked about pretty much off and on all year. Hell with them. The ASD guys who can face tank Pyro 1 are terrifying. Oh, this is the one that's going to get a little bit of my Jimmy's rustled here. For Squadron 42, our priority remains quality and polish as we move toward beta and release. We're confident in the direction the game is headed, and we're fully focused on delivering. We know that many of you are eager to play, and we're looking forward to putting it in your hands. We don't plan on a long, drawn-out marketing campaign, as we've already done our share of trailers and gameplay previews. When it's time, you and the rest of the gaming world will hear a lot more from us. This is where I will go on a soapbox after I finish, because we're almost done. I have concerns. Thank you for continuing to share your time, your feedback, and your passion for this universe. Star Citizen 142 exists because of all of you, and that is something I will never take for granted. From all of us at Cloud Imperium Games, we wish you a happy holiday season and a great start to the new year. There's Chris, founder and CEO. So I have thoughts on that last part. That just quick, oh yeah, we're not going to do a long drawn out campaign. There are a couple of things that might go wrong and could go right. We'll start with the wrong, and then we'll end with the hopium. Hopium, whatever. First of all, the problem that Squadron 42 has, based off of what Chris has said, and I'll read it again. As we don't plan on doing a long, drawn-out marketing campaign, as we've already done our share of trailers and gameplay previews. That's great, but you didn't do any pre-orders. No one will remember a trailer they saw 2 years ago and then go, oh, I'm going to purchase this game. There has not been a preview of Squadron 42 since 2024. So if you're releasing a game in 2026 without a preview in 2026, no one's going to be reminded you exist. And it smacks of, we're not going to do a big marketing blitz. We're just going to do word of mouth, which is great in modern gaming. Lots of games have done word of mouth as their main story that pushed them through Baldur's Gate, Expedition 33, both Game of the Year, both were carried by word of mouth. However, Baldur's Gate had a built-in fan base and released it at the right time. And Expedition 33 did the same. It had a lot of passionate people behind it, and it was released at a time where there really wasn't nothing else really released. Squadron 42 is going to drop in 2026. And I've mentioned this, and everyone's mentioned this, is the gigantic elephant in the room. The whale, I think of something bigger than a whale. The asteroid in the room is GTA. And before anyone goes into the chat and goes, but Paul, GTA is a console game and not the same genre as Star Citizen or Squadron 42. Why are you so stupid about this? Because you're so handsome. How could you be so stupid? Which is right. You know, I am that handsome. Thank you. But strawman commenter, hold your horses. The problem isn't GTA 6. The problem is word of mouth. Because word of mouth can work great, but it only works well when there's nobody else talking about anything else or sucking up the air, taking up people's time. And as is often quoted or often said, and it's important to reiterate, people have a budget. And if your budget is slim, especially in 2026 when budget's going to be slim, you're going to have to make hard choices about what video game you purchase if you purchase one at all. And are you going to, as a normal average gamer, not you, sexy, wonderful, handsome, beautiful viewer, you who are watching this right now, because it's the only way you are watching this is if you are incredibly handsome. You're looking good, by the way. You already know about Squadron. You are already in the elevated, enlightened population that understand what's going on. Think of yourself as an average gamer, the baseline normie, and think, are they likely going to take a risk on Squadron 42 or GTA, especially when their friends are playing GTA? Like, you got to put yourself in the average person's shoes because you were once the average person. Think about any game that exists outside of your niche that you have been tempted to play. That's the kind of thing that you need to do. So I know I'm already going on a tangent about this, but that I wanted to highlight that problem, which is if you don't do a marketing campaign and you're working on word of mouth, you have to be the only mouth speaking. Or limit the number of mouths that are speaking that are not you. And I have a terrible feeling that they're going to do a marketing campaign for like a month, when the vast majority of people don't know you exist. So that's the negative parts. The positive is that Squadron 42 only has to be good. If it's good, it doesn't have to sell a bajillion copies to be a success, as long as it continues to sell. You definitely need marketing after the fact, at the very least, to continue support and word of mouth to spread to increase the sales of the game over time. Because there's no publisher to pay back. They do have some investors that they may have to pay back, but I don't know if those investors will even withdraw at that point or just double down on it. I don't know. Even then, those people are likely going to do it's like $30 million. They would make that money back pretty quickly. So the big issue is creating a significant income stream, revenue stream from Squadron without having to invest an absolute mountain of team and effort and energy into keeping it around. And if you do it right, then you got whatever, $10 million, $20 million, $30 million a year just from people buying your game on Steam or whatever. So it's important to make it good. So if it's good, they don't really have to sell that much. So that's the only thing they got going for them, is that they do not have the pressure to make all their money back for a publisher on day one. Thank you for coming to my tomato talk. My unhinged rant there. But overall, that was the letter from the chairman for December of 2025. I'm already in the future. 2025. As always, if you did enjoy this, hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and hit the bell to be notified when these release. And I want to know your thoughts down below. Am I insane for having these worries? I want to hear your thoughts on what you think is actually going to come out next year. And yeah, remember to join us live, twitch.tv/theastropub, youtube.com/theastropub where you can join these chatters here and discuss. I'm not ending the stream now. I'm simply ending this clip. So these folks are going to talk a little bit more about this before we go to the night. So, but for the rest of you, thank you for watching. And like I say every time, hope to see you someday in black. All right. You're definitely insane. I'm insane for other reasons, though. Yes, let's watch the video real quick. The video is actually pretty good. Cash 2026, Terra 2027. I think that's a good general. 1.0 in 2028. I think they could serve for a long beta process, so they can do wipes if they need to. With
What makes this place different?
It was built by us.
welcome.
That was really good.
All right. That's good. It's 4.5 ran as smoothly as the video. That's the funniest thing. I think some people, like, it does run that smooth. That's the problem. So, Paul, the marketing mention of the $45 million was from Forbes article in 2018. CIG stated to them that there was earmarked for marketing. Okay. Thank you for finding it, Cyberwolf. Yeah, there's no way it stayed intact for 2026. They didn't count the ICTs, the weapon. Having $1 billion shared between two games is crazy. It's important to remember as well, though, it's over two games over the course of 13 years. So I'm going to do the math, the back of the napkin math, which is not going to be good. It's not going to be right, 100%. But that's $76 million. I did it right. $77 million per year. For both games. Every year. And that's its revenue, not profit. It's not $1 million in profit. It's $1 million in revenue. GTA 6, $1 billion for one game. That's also true. But you also got to remember that a lot of what GTA 6's budget is, at least half of its budget, is going to be marketing. Because they're going to market the fuck out of that game. No, they don't need to have it word of mouth. Word of mouth will happen no matter what, because it's GTA fucking 6. Direct message? Okay. The Discord or... Oh, yeah. When was that? Do you remember when I sent that to you, Knowledge? Do you think the Star Citizen will ever get profit? I mean, they do make a profit some years, but not much. It was years, but not forever ago. I think I remember this one. This was when I was applying to work for CIG. When I was applying to work for CIG, they're like, you got a lot of folks who in chat who are negative to it, and that's something for sure. Yeah, I applied for CIG multiple times. I think they made like $2 or $3 million one year. Yeah. The original one I applied for was for, what was it? It wasn't community. It was online. I think it was concierge. I think I applied for concierge originally. Much smaller team back then. Then I applied for community manager. And that was when Jake got the job. And then lastly, I applied for the writing position and didn't get the job. So the negative people in chat are ruining your chances to join CIG? Yeah, probably. They don't hire someone based off of someone else's opinion. I don't know how true this is now, but CIG, especially like years ago, was incredibly paranoid because they were afraid that they'd hire somebody who would start leaking stuff or would be like negative on the project. They thought they saw boogeymen behind every door. That's some bad hiring manager mentality. It's one of the reasons why, like, every time I've applied for CIG, I'm not going to get it because they won't hire me. A, they wouldn't be able to pay for me, and B, I just don't think that would ever happen. Yeah, there was that artist who was really weird. Yeah. Isn't pipeline employee leaks? Sometimes. I do think that one of the people who was leaking was fired, though. Not for you, bro. You have good. Do you work for CIG, Kark, and I don't know anything? One of the things I do know was that they were also hesitant to hire me because I would no longer be able to produce content for Star Citizen, meaning all my lore videos would no longer be, I wouldn't be able to make Star Citizen lore videos. Because generally speaking, CIG employees do not make content for Star Citizen. I don't think it's a full, like, no, you can't do this or we're going to cause problems. It's probably part of their contract where they can't do too much unmonitored interaction with the community through playing that kind of stuff. Jared's not a community manager. That's right now it's Ulf is the head community manager. I think Tyler's above him, but he's like in the like management positions. I lured myself out of a job, partially, yes. Again, that was a content that was a situation years ago, back when they were seeing fucking boogeymen in every corner. What are the lore videos the writers team made years ago? They're good. The problem about those videos is that they were made for a game that doesn't exist anymore. Those videos were created before or around 2016. And as we've seen, pretty much every system has gotten an update or change large enough to make those videos pretty much pointless. It's one of the reasons why I don't do system surveys anymore, because doing a system survey this early on with CIGs making major changes to systems, it's kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. We do not know for sure GTA 6 is coming out in 2026. It could actually be delayed. The crazy story about GTA is that Rockstar claimed that they fired employees who were leaking or causing, like, breaking contract of some kind. And it just so happened that in that batch of employees were 30 people who were trying to unionize Rockstar. And it's gotten to the point where, because Rockstar is a British company, it's gotten to the point where the firing of the 30 Rockstar employees who were trying to unionize Rockstar has gotten to the floor of Parliament in UK. It was union busting, yeah. That makes me sad that you're the only Star Citizen lore tuber. That makes me sad too. I want more Star Citizen lore tubers, but Star Citizen needs to actually have more lore. I thought that suspended production indefinitely. It might have. I don't know. The leaking secrets came out after they were let go. I'd put serious money down that the secrets were shared. We're sharing pay info with each other. Yeah. Investing is a major in the UK, right? It's more in the UK than it is in the US. There's more rights to unions than there are in the UK, I believe. They're still open development. They're just not as open development as everyone hopes or wants. Zin, I'd love the thing that I love Board Gamer and Zin doing videos. If anyone can get this message, because it's so hard to get in contact with Board Gamer or Zin. I haven't talked to Zin ever. They need to make their own channel that's just for lore, so that it doesn't get fucking destroyed by Board Gamers news videos. They just need to make like board lore or something like that, you know, and just let Zin do Zin stuff, because it's usually Zin who's doing the lore stuff, and I want Zin to do more lore stuff. There's been a couple of people who do lore stuff. There's another group who I followed who haven't done any lore stuff since then, but let me see if I can find them. Nat One Mag. I forgot the name of their. I think it's Nat One Magazine. Nat One Magazine is the name of it. No, it's Sisters of Battle. That's what it's called. I think it's Sisters of Battle. Yeah, Sisters of Battle. I'll link their channel. The Babe Starties. They still do stuff. They did a November update 2 weeks ago. 1 month ago, they did October monthly report. They did 15 Citizens jacket styles will change the game forever. They used to do a bunch of lore as well, but I don't think they've done stuff in a while. They might be preparing for college, yes. Their father is a huge fan of Star Citizen. I think they've been doing stuff as well, but like their father was the huge Star Citizen fan that got them into there. So we get more than one size of crafter, in your opinion? Probably not at the beginning. I think we'll get one crafter size at the beginning, and then we'll get more size crafters as they go through it. Zin does it well. She does. She does great. But the problem is it gets absolutely drowned out by Board Gamer's other videos. It really needs its own channel to breathe. It's one of the reasons why I created the Astro Historian versus the Astropub. Do you think Squadron 42 will add to the body of lore? Oh yeah, 100%. There's a lot of stuff that's in Squadron 42 that's already in lore, but there's going to definitely be more lore because it's storytelling. It's a single player game. It's going to add more stuff to it. When are you gonna make the RSI lore video? Fuck me. Oh fuck. You want me to make a 6-hour lore video on the history of RSI? Oh, it's gonna happen at one point. I gotta probably over the summer, honestly. RSI is the oldest company in the verse. It's got a lot of fucking lore. Just do 12 videos? No. I will do one video, which will be 3 hours long. Does she post content regularly on the channel to be its own? Let me look. This has got to be one.
You're late, Motak said.
Yes. So literally one day ago, she did a lore video reading through one of the lore posts. 8 days ago, she did another lore post. Two weeks ago, she did a lore post. She does a lore post every week. Yeah. She does a lore post every week. She could easily do a channel that would support itself. A lore post every week. Do you make notes or commit all your lore brain to the wrinkles in the memory? Bit of both. Now, the difference is that typically Zin just reads out the lore posts and the stories rather than trying to do like I do, like try to synthesize everything. But every person is going to have a different approach to telling the same sort of stories. So I would highly like for them to do so. Because a lot of people know Board Gamer, but don't know that they do more than just news. How many items do you think will be make it first? 20, 30? I don't know. I mean, in reality, there's probably almost no limit to what you can make in terms of like, because all it is just a spawn box. So my guess is whatever they make, it's going to be very basic stuff. So like ammo, utility stuff like the tractor beams and stuff like that. Med pens, that kind of thing. It's a story. I believe she's pulling these from the story. Oh, there's a lot of stories that are written for Star Citizen in the Jump Point magazines. Like one of my favorites is Instrument of Surrender, which is where the Jackal comes from. There's a new Jump Point, by the way, and take a look at it there. Sometimes she combines stuff. Ooh, Intersect Solutions. That's the lore for this year, for this one. Let's hear about Intersect. All right, so here's all the patches, by the way. January was Fight for Pyro. February was Supply or Die. March was Alpha 4-1. So 401 and 402. Then 441 was March, which was Orbital Assault. April was Triggerfish. I want to say there was no patch in April. There was a patch in May, though. Which was 411, I guess. Yeah, then June was 4-2, which is Stormbreaker. July was 4-2-1, which is Race for Stanton. Yeah, the Resource Rush. 4-3 was the creation of the Onyx facilities. 4-3-1, which is September, was the Site B. 4-3-2 was Frontier Fighters. End of the Frontier Fighters. 4-4 was Nyx. That was in November. And of course, December is 4-5. I mentioned here. Ooh. Interesting. Oh, okay. So Intersect was founded by High Admiral Grand Admiral Olivind Gibbons. And he achieved the rank during the Mezzer era. So he was Grand Admiral under the last Mezzer, Linton Mezzer. And when Linton nuked Garen 2 with terraforming, he resigned. Admiral Gibbons resigned. And Linton rejected it. I'll read it right here. In a rare move, Linton Mezzer rejected the letter of resignation. He claimed that to resign was treason and a soldier's service was until death. Summoned to his chamber, Olivind and the Imperator had a heated confrontation witnessed only by Linton's closest advisors. In the aftermath, historians speculate that Linton was cautioned against executing Olivind and that his standing within the military could potentially cause ripples through the UEE, that other high-ranking members of the military may leave or, worse, form a coup. His official service record states Olivind Gibbons was dismissed on the grounds of not being fit for active duty after 30 years of serving with the UE Navy. And after 30 years of serving the UE Navy, he left. Despite now being free of the military, Olivind felt listless. He took no joy in his dismissal and had no interest in overthrowing the established government, so he struggled to process the anger he felt towards the UE rulers. When Lindenmeser was eventually overthrown and Aaron Toy became the first imperator appointed by the people, Olivind remained distrustful of this new UEE. Toy vowed to govern under the principles of social consciousness that led to a reduction of the military, causing many of Olivind's former comrades to be forced out of the Navy. Olivind began to organize meetings with his fellow veterans. Initially, there were social events to rekindle connections and camaraderie in the military. Oh, fucking shit, I know this fucking story. God damn it. But they were also ways to support those who were struggling with dejection as they felt from losing their jobs. I don't know what I would have done without that group. They were my lifeline, former Commander Beverly Venata stated in an interview, sharing some distrust of the government, but eager to serve their people. The group began to discuss the idea of forming a private militia, one that would only be accountable to themselves and the shared values they held. The group naturally turned to Olivind as the most senior member amongst them. Eager for a fresh start, Olivind agreed, and the group founded their private security company under the name Intersect. They started small, local defense contracts for fledgling settlements, protection services for charitable organizations, and soon their reputation began to spread. Admiral Olivins, I never thought the lepers would eat my face. Yeah. I have tried Star Citizen VR. It's pretty good. How bad do you think the next patch will be? It'll be better than this patch. Big Blue. Yeah, it's not. We're not talking about Thrawn here, guys. Sounds like the Horus Heresy. I mean, I've heard that story enough times to know how this ends. It was a big part in the rise of the Nazis in Nazi Germany. It was a big part of, the French, the coup of the generals in France. It was a big part of the coup in, that attempted coup in Turkey. Pretty much, this is how all coups start. How despotic governments or coups start. Hey, thank you for the $20 there, Serious Fun. Publishing a book is a great feeling. Enjoy the writing, and please continue to Star Citizen Squadron content. 26 will be better than ever. That's the plan.
Hey, a tip.
At Seri, super short at $20. Publishing a book is a great feeling. Enjoy the writing, and please continue the SC Squadron content. 26 will be better than ever.
Argentina, yeah. Oh, come on. It's not like they had his own free core. Wary of the optics of hiring Linton Meser's Grand Admiral to protect the planets placed under the Fair Chance Act that was designed to respond to the atrocities committed by that dynasty. The UE's use of Intersect continued to rise while the company expanded into private sector work. Able to operate places where the Empire might not be free to act, they helped lead a daring extraction of a high-profile member of Congress who had been abducted and taken to the TAL system. And in 2809, they gained further recognition for successfully defending large groups of displaced refugees caught in the attempted militia coup of Elysium 4. Most recently, the UEE have employed Intersect in Nyx, attempting to keep the Empire safe from the emerging Vanduul threat, while not formally violating the independence of the local government and the People's Alliance. Almost 200 years on, Intersect have maintained their excellent reputation. Expanding their ranks with numerous highly skilled operators, the company has grown, but their core values remained. Many of its original founders are no longer here, but engraved on the wall of their corporate headquarters in Killian 7 are the words of its founder, Nostrum Officium Populo. Our duty is to the people. During office hours, do you ever play Star Citizen? Rarely. I usually play Star Citizen on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, and sometimes on Mondays, but usually it's the weekend. But yeah, serious fun. I still plan on doing finishing my lore video on Hurston's. I've got plans to do a video on the food of Star Citizen. I still have a plan of doing that. I have a plan on doing a video on Nyx. I want to redo my complete my intro guide to Star Citizen, because I did mess up a few things here and there, and it was before Crusader was actually released. Because people have found it and started watching it again, because people are now interested in Star Citizen again. So yeah. Who is the founder of Hurston? Archibald Hurston, I think. Maybe not an Archibald. Let me look up my notes. I literally did a video on him. Solomon Hurston founded it. Ariel's a very important person. Ariel invented weapons of mass destruction. Ariel was the first Hurston to build antimatter weaponry. So that Hurston, which is one of the cornerstones. So like Hurston is one of the only private companies that can build antimatter warheads. Magda's important because she basically bought Hurston. There's a crazy story about Magda. So Magda is the daughter of Maria Hurston. No, she's the granddaughter of Maria Hurston. So, let me look it up. So Maria Hurston married Jasper Hurston. Well, Maria Wharton married Jasper Hurston, became Maria Hurston. Through Maria and Jasper's work, they attempted a hostile takeover of Hurston Dynamics that failed, and Jasper was removed from the company entirely. Though Maria was still available, and she, or still kind of in the circles, and she created a healthcare plan which is still used by the company today. But their children no. Ariel isn't. It's Aberdeen that built the first nuke. What did Ariel do? Third CEO of Hurston. He created the life labor contract. He created the slavery contract. Ariel's the one who invented invented in perpetuity slavery. Does Hurston have slaves? Yes and no. When you sign a contract to work for Hurston, you are signing a lifelong contract where you cannot leave. fat contract. Is it slavery? Legally, no. Practically, yes. Geno Boom? No. Maria Pure of Heart. Yeah, that's what Maria Hurston's, the statue you see in Maria Pure of Heart is Maria Hurston. Ita was the wife of Julius Hurston. Paul, Berserker 01, Batman Jelly, your humble host and space bartender here at the Astro Pub. Jesus fucking Christ. Stay stream. My name is Paul Berserker 01, Batman Jelly, your humble host and space bartender here at the Astro Pub. Your space bar at the end of the universe. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. We got a good one for you.
You can take away my spaceship.
Spaceship.
You can take away my space suit.
Suit.
You can even take away my space lasers.
No pew-pews.
But you can never, ever take away my space game.
Ah.
Ferriqueer just resubscribed for 71 months.
Thank you very much, Fair, for that 71 months of support. You're very important, Papa. Very impressed, Mr. Fanny Pedestrian. You rock. Trust and cheers and chat, y'all. Trust and cheers.
You can take away my spaceship.
Spaceship.
You can take away my space suit. You can even take away my space lasers.
No pew-pews.
But you can never, ever take away my space game.
Fucking shit, Escape.
Please just resubscribed for 73 months. Merry Christmas, friendo.
Yeah,
Love you, buddy.
Merry Christmas to you too, buddy. We gotta get back to doing some more stuff together. I'm Boxing Day. I can do stuff if you're available. Escape with the 50 fucking. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait.
You can take
We
away
got
my
Snark, and then we
spaceship.
gotta do the rest.
You can take away my space suit. You can even take away my space lasers. But you can never,
Never,
ever
ever.
take away my space game.
No, I'm not doing all 50. You'll see what it is.
Snout 3D just resubscribed for 78 months.
Thank you for that 78 months of support there.
Escape H907 just gifted 50 subs.
Fucking fuck. You're all very important puppers, very impressive visitors, very new pedestrians. You rock. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. Hold on. We're not done yet.
The Evil Tactics just gifted 5 subs.
Thank you for gifting those 5 subs there, Evil Tactics. You're very important puppers, very impressive business, very meaty pedestrians. And for those of you who just got a sub from Escape, also thank you, Evil Tactics. You said something. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to you too. If you got a sub from Escape, you are legally required to support his, not legally, morally required to support his push, which includes you, Zero, to push for a rocket strike, a version of the strike that instead of missiles has dumbfire rockets. A pure ground-based attack platform. Hey, C Daddy, good to see you. We had a letter. Yes. We just got a letter. We already read it. I'm going to step away for 2 minutes because I was about to step up to go do something real quick. Be right back, chat. Don't go anywhere.
Weapons free, y'all. Genesis?
Stand by for Titanfall.
Everybody and his dog calls himself an outlaw.
I'm just an old-fashioned cowboy.
Just come in and get chaos, right? I'm taking away your fun button. It was very quick.
Everybody and his dog calls himself an outlaw.
Watano just gifted 10 subs.
Thank you for getting those 10 subs, Bertano. You're a very important pupper, very impressive, sir. Very new pedestrian. You rock. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. And they're paying for the gift they got from iStream Ustream. Fuck.
Drinks all around.
Let's party like it's your birthday. Party like it's your birthday. Come on and put your lips together. Blow the candle out. Party like it's your birthday. Party like it's your birthday. I wanna make you feel real special. Put your name in lights. We are gonna party like it's your birthday. Gonna party like it's your birthday. Gonna party like it's your birthday. Blow the candle out.
IQ2 Gamer just got a sub from Dash_D. Dash_D gifted a tier 1 sub to IQ2 Gamer.
Thank you, Dash for giving that sub to IQ2 Gamer. You're both very important puppers, very impressive, business, very pedestrians. You rock.
Take away my
Shots and cheers in
space-
chat, y'all. Shots and cheers.
You can take away my space suit.
God damn it. Zero, Loken, I blame you for this. This is your fault.
You can never,
Thank you.
ever take away my space game.
Jamie's 12 just resubscribed for 29 months.
Thank you so much, James, for that 29 months of support. You're very important, Papa. Very important.
Let's party like it's your birthday. Party like it's your birthday. Come on and put your lips together. Blow the candle out. Party like it's your birthday. Party like it's your birthday. I wanna make you feel real special. Put your name in lights. We are gonna party like it's your birthday. Gonna party like it's your birthday. Gonna party like it's your birthday.
XLee611 just got a sub from The Evil Tactics. The Evil Tactics gifted a tier 1 sub to XLee611.
Thank you for giving that sub
They have
to.
given 11 gift subs in the channel.
Thank you for giving those 11 subs.
Them biddies.
Merry FAFFING Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too. There's Scott. Thank you for them biddies. Are you just trying to do one at a time, Shemp? Paul, I warn you, I just bought Loken in MDC, so he's dangerous now. He has unlimited power, is what you're trying to say? You gave him the equivalent of the most dangerous weapon in all of Warhammer. The, I forgot the name of the damn thing.
Drinks all around. Let's party like it's your birthday. Party like it's your birthday. Come on and put your lips together. Blow the candle out. Party like it's your birthday. Party like it's your birthday. I wanna make you feel real special. Put your name in lights. We are gonna party like it's your birthday. Gonna party like it's your birthday. Gonna party like it's your birthday.
Passerby 42069 just got a sub from Shempasta. Shempasta gifted a tier 1 sub to Passerby 42069. They have given 345 gift subs in the channel.
Hey, Dash D. I guess so.
Let's party like it's your birthday. Party like it's your birthday. Come on and put your lips together. Blow the candle out. Party like it's your birthday. Party like it's your birthday. I wanna make you feel real special. Put your name in lights. We are gonna party like it's your birthday. Gonna party like it's your birthday. Gonna party like it's your birthday.
Reshborduk just got a sub from Shempasta. Shempasta gifted a tier 1 sub to Reshborduk. They have given 346 gift subs in the channel.
Fuck. You're very important, Bubba's very impressed with Fuck.
Let's party like it's your birthday. Party like it's your birthday. Come on and put your lips together. Blow the candle out. Party like it's your birthday. Party like it's your birthday. I wanna make you feel real special. Put your name in lights. We are gonna party like it's your birthday. Gonna party like it's your birthday. Gonna party like it's your birthday.
Captain _ No Pants just got a sub from Shempasta. Shempasta gifted a tier 1 sub to Captain _ No Pants.
Thank you so
They have
much.
given 347 gift subs in the channel.
Thank you for gifting all those subs there, Shimposter. You're very important, Pupper. Very impressed, Mr. Vanny Pedestrian. You rock. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. Spaceship.
Take away my space suit.
Suit.
You can even take away my space lasers.
No pew-pews.
But you can never,
Never.
ever
Ever.
take away my
Hey, Ranprint.
space game.
I'm not doing my freaking big long stream until Friday.
Inner Hype just resubscribed for 106 months.
Thank you for that 106 months of support there. And hype, you're very important, Pupper. Very impressed, Mr. Vanny Pedestrian. You rock. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. It's in the title there, very, very simple, Simon. We're talking about the letter from the chairman. A side of the story I've not seen, and I'm here for it. Now, this is the pub side of the history section. We dance. We party when people become VIPs. I really needed a good dance emote. Welcome everybody who's new. Thank you for joining us. My name is Paul Berserker1 Batman Shelley, your humble host and space bartender at the Astropub. I'm your professor on the Astro Historian, and I'm your moderator on the Captain Stable podcast. I do Star Citizen content. I do other content as well, though Star Citizen is the main subject I do. But you'll see me hang out with Loken a lot. Me and Loken do Star Citizen and other games, specifically like Helldivers, Space Marine 2. Loken and I are both big Space Marine and Warhammer 40k fans, so we'll play Mech Warrior because we're also big Mech Warrior fans. And yeah, welcome. That's a lot of people discovered recently. I'm also a big Ace Combat fan. Yes, BattleTech. The BattleTech universe in general, but we played a lot of Mech Warrior. Yeah, I started streaming MWO and Kerbal Space Program and Star Citizen, but I mean, I did MWO and I guess up first.
You guys discuss your love for the Deemer and Storm all the time, right?
Yes, 100%. To be fair, I approve of Loken's hatred of the Storm. I approve Loken's hatred of the Storm for the same reason why I hate the Redeemer. The Storm is wasted potential. It could have been so much better, and it sucks. The worst part is constantly they refer to it's like a mech. It's like getting in a mech, and it's like to give me a fucking mech, not this. Yeah, do not put the door in the front where you're gonna get shot. Logan's probably not. He's probably going to bed. It's super late there. Like, it is 10 p.m. my time, which means it's like 4 o'clock in the morning for Logan. He needs to go to bed. We do need laser axes. Yeah, 4 a.m. Yeah. We've been talking a little bit about we've talked a lot about the letter from the chairman. The biggest things to take from the letter from the chairman are what they're going to focus on next year, which is stuff we generally know, but it's a good confirmation for like right now, which is inventory, engineering, crafting, and social tools. So social tools was the big one that they said they're focusing on. They haven't really mentioned a lot. And then the other stuff that they're going to be working on is they all but confirmed they're going to try to get Castro out next year. So I'm holding out for the flamethrowers. They've talked about it. CIG wants to have flamethrowers because CIG are also fans of Warhammer 40k and of course aliens. So an alien. So like, why not? Flamethrowers are iconic in science fiction. Oh, I know. Why put fire mechanics in if you're not going to use them? Exactly. CIG are also still 15-year-olds internally. That's an excessive date. 15 years old seems like that's way older than they actually are internally. Yeah, the crossbow. I feel like the crossbow will be something they might release next year. They're going to discover girls soon. I don't think we're going to see Star Citizen release to consoles. I'd be very surprised if to see Star Citizen released to consoles. I do think we'll see a Squadron released to consoles, but I don't think we'll see a Squadron released to consoles until at the earliest 2027. Hey, Red Monster, how you doing, buddy? I think that you could do Star Citizen on a console, but I don't think it would do well. I think it'd be very difficult to make fun on a console. It really is a like a PC experience. I've constantly said, because I've yet to see evidence that CIG has hired people specifically for console ports, because they would have put something like that on their website, hiring. And I don't think CIG, if there was a console port made of Squadron or Star Citizen for that matter, you wouldn't see it by CIG. It would be by another company that they work with. So yeah. Doing well, been slightly disconnected for the last few weeks as I get sorted with a new job in the house in Hunton. Hey, you got a new job. That's good. Glad to hear that, bud. Hopefully it's a good job. Paul, that one MDC I gave to Logan was out of 22 MDCs. Damn. That's awesome. Ooh. They did hire porters a couple years ago. Did they? I don't remember them hiring people to port. Yeah, going West Coast and went under contract for a house this afternoon. Okay. That's good. I don't think Star Citizen ever going to console. Yeah, it's just not.
Drinks all around. Let's party like it's your birthday. Party like it's your birthday. Come on and put your lips together. Blow the candle out. Party like it's your birthday. Party like it's your birthday. I wanna make you feel real special. Put your name in lights. We are gonna party like it's your birthday. Gonna party like it's your birthday. Gonna party like it's your birthday. Blow the candle out.
Red Monster C just got a sub from Shempaster. Shempaster gifted a tier 1 sub to Red Monster SC.
Goddamn, champ.
They have given 348 gift subs in the channel.
Thank you so much for gifting those subs to Red Monster. Very important, proper, very impressed, Mr. Very pedestrian. You rock. Shots and cheers and Jay, yo. Shots and cheers. Oh, you're talking about Fire Sprite. Fire Sprite's owned by Sony now. And Fire Sprite's original job was to make Arena Commander. So, and fun fact, the people they had working for them at Fire Sprite to make Arena Commander, they hired. Because when Fire Sprite got bought by Sony, they hired the folks who were at Fire Sprite who were working on Arena Commander to become the Arena Commander team internally. I want to say it's 2023 because I was looking for CIG customer support team and they had console porter jobs posted. I feel like I would have heard something like that. That'd be pretty big. CIG has had console dev kits spotted for years in offices, bank on Squadron 2 and consoles, just a matter of when. If it's going to be going on consoles, it's PS6, the next PlayStation. It won't be on PS5, I don't think. They didn't show a PS4. They showed a PS4 dev kit. Cyberwolf, that was the big one. But yeah. We want to see Star Citizen console. The tech needs to periodically phase out older GPUs. And that's something you can't upgrade without upgrading the whole machine. Okay. Switch to a Riot. I do think when Star Citizen releases at 1.0, they will sell it on Steam. Or when Star Citizen releases beta, whichever ones, they'll release it to Steam. Might have misread it. It's only because, it's not that I don't believe you, Evil Tactic. It's just like that would have been a huge news. Like that's the kind of thing I keep my ear down to the ground for, and people would have ran to the stream to talk about it in 2022 and 2023. Be like, "Fuck, have you heard about this?" The fact they're doing as well as they have right now without going to Steam is a testament to the kind of things they've been able to do with Star Citizen. How much they've been able to improve Star Citizen's reputation. But I think eventually Steam is important. There may be some question in terms of Steam, because if you're selling stuff outside of Steam, like ships and stuff like that, that might not gel with Steam's terms of service. So there may be some issues with that. They're a huge market. There's people who won't know a game unless it's on Steam. Do you think that the fact that we have fire in game now will see incendiary grenades and smoke grenades? Oh yes, for sure. For sure. Can CIG really bring themselves to give up that much income per unit? What do you mean? Oh, for putting it on Steam? Yeah, because it's more than just income, it's reach. Putting something like at least Squadron on Steam makes it so that you have a much higher reach than you would have otherwise. It's 30% off the top, but it's also A, negotiable, and B, it is so what's the percentage of the PC gaming market that's on Steam? It's insanely high. I want to say it's like 80 to 90%, but I could be wrong. Let me look it up. %75%. %75% of the gaming market. So right now, they're staring down 70. They're giving up 75% of the gaming market. Only if they structure themselves so that's enough to cover the costs. Generally speaking, right now, CIG breaks even pretty much every year. Sometimes they go a little bit below, sometimes they go a little bit above, but they don't go much. At most, they go like 2 to 3 million in profit or they go 2 to 3 million in loss, but they almost never go beyond that. The last little thing we'll talk about with what we've been talking about with the letter from the chairman is the big one was the numbers. 64 million hours of Star Citizen was played this year, which is up from 48 million in 2024. 40 to 60% increases on average daily users, and average peak concurrency, and they had 57% fewer player disconnects per 1 million player hours compared to 2024. Have you read the chairman's letter? They're taking a short marketing blitz for Squadron 42 launch, almost like they're looking to piggyback off someone else.
Drinks all around. Let's party like it's your birthday. Party like it's your birthday. Come on and put your lips together. Blow the candle out. Party like it's your birthday. Party like it's your birthday. I wanna make you feel real special. Put your name in lights. We are gonna party like it's your birthday. Gonna party like it's your birthday. Gonna party like it's your birthday. Blow the candle out.
Sir One Ooze Fun just got a sub from Shempaster. Shempaster gifted a tier 1 sub to Sir One Ooze Fun.
Sir One Ooze Fun.
Even 349 gift subs in the channel.
Thank you for gifting Sir One US Fun gift sub. You're very important puppers, very impressive business, very neat pedestrian. You rock. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. No, I mean, I said that, much earlier this year that I heard that Squadron is releasing on Steam. It's more than just Steam, but yeah, Steam is the main was the big news. They're going to release Squadron on Steam when it comes out, which makes sense. Like that will cover for some of the marketing loss, but not nearly as much as like actual marketing will. Like, if they're going to release it on Steam, they have to release it for pre-order on Steam so they can get the buzz of, like, being the, like, #1 most wish-listed game on Steam for the year or something like that. But getting in that, like, hyped upcoming games level so people know it exists. It's not confirmed, Cal. It's just internal sources that I've talked to have talked about that. not 100% confirmed that it's going to do anything other than what they've already said. But that is something that I have heard is planned. From multiple sources. If I was them, I would announce at Invictus, but the other events they could go to is the PC Gamer event that happens around E3 every year, which E3 doesn't exist anymore, but it's same around that time. And then there's the Gamescom. They could do a presentation at Gamescom. Gamescom is one of the biggest marketing events for games on the planet. I think it's slightly bigger than Tokyo Game Show, but Tokyo Game Show is the second largest. It used to be E3, Gamescom, and Tokyo Game Show were the three big ones, and they all happened like right after each other, and now E3's gone. So I would announce at Quantum Vegas. Same here. It would go full circle if they announced it at GDC, because they announced it originally at GDC. Does that mean Stress PU will also launch on Steam? I have no idea. I would think that would be the case, but you know. No, for sure, Cyberwolf, that if they're going to release Squadron 42 this year, they will be at Gamescom with an event, for sure. The question is, when do they announce it, and what time will it release? Because my guess, based off of their discussion, by Chris's poor words choice, I'll just say that, of saying that we've done plenty of trailers, we don't need to do a big marketing blitz, it won't be a long, drawn-out affair, I'm doing this, chat. I'm doing this. It hurts us. It hurts us so bad. Why? Why does it do this? Precious, why? Hey, Joe Carroll. It wouldn't be a Facebook. I would smash my head into the desk if it wouldn't break the desk. Paul, I have a series of unrelated to Chris's choices for questions. What's that, Jaco? Best place to get pristine 6 platoon medals. What was the latest release? Probably Onyx facilities. Maybe Pharaoh centers, because I've heard a lot of good things about Pharaoh centers, or Hathor facilities. Hathor's also got some good stuff too. Have you heard the elevators in CZs are dead like the ones in QV stations? I have not. I think it's a self-inflated importance. Like being in a bubble, you assume people know more because you know that you know a lot. I think that's the case too. My fundamental problem, and again, this is not me saying Chris Roberts is an idiot or anything like that. Chris Roberts has made several successful video games when I was basically a child. He knows what he's doing when it comes to making video games. But I think he's too close to this, and whoever else is in charge of this, in the sense that, like, they need to have some sort of marketing in terms of getting people aware of the Squadron 42 as a thing. I think that the demographics they would normally be appealing to don't know they exist. They need to have advertisement. And I don't mean TV advertisement. I don't mean like billboards. I mean like YouTube ads. I mean, like doing social media ads, like Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all that sort of things. Pristine medals are found on Ace Pilots. Okay, that too. Twitch ad rolls, yes. I've looted 2 pristine medals from medium blue boxes at distro centers today. That works too. Sounds like I've seen 2 people say blue boxes, so blue boxes are the big ones. Well, the blue boxes have always been the thing. Been like a metal thing. But yeah, like the clean blue boxes. You'll get a lot of free press from exposure. Yes, but Captain No Pants, I can already tell you the title of every one of those articles. This game took $1 billion in 13 years to make. That's the angle. Yes. They need to take advantage of the Squadron 42 cast, for sure. They need to just sit down with oh, why am I blanking on his name? Henry Cavill, and have him play the first mission. Just film him play the first mission. Put that out as a video. I did hear they changed a bunch of the requirements for the ships so that they're just like fuck, what are they? They're just like reputation or Wicklow favors now. I don't think having Ralph Fiennes and Uma Thurman to the Letterman and Leno work so well. Hey, Rue, good to see you again. Doing good. Merry Christmas to you too. How's everything going? Mostly a little surprised how little the game comes up when actors talk. It's a $1 billion game, etc. Actors don't know it's a $1 billion game. Most of them acted in mocap studios back in 2014, 2015. So it's been over a decade since they actually participated. Several of them have come back for pickup shots, but not all of them. So most of them barely remember them being in it, you know? It's good to hear, Rue. I haven't seen you online in forever. It was good to meet you again in person during the CitizenCon watch party, but you sworn you've seen Squadron 42 ads on YouTube before? I would be very, very interested. If you see chat, if you see any Squadron 42 ad, please fucking let me know. Put the word out. Because this community was able for me to tell me about Star Citizen having YouTube ads to a degree where I was able to talk to Tyler, and Tyler was like, how the fuck did you know we're doing YouTube ads? And I was like, I pay attention to this shit, Tyler. Just screenshot it. If you just do like a quick screenshot or take a picture out, like and take a picture of it and show me it, it'd be great. I'd love to know that stuff. Yeah, I'm so busy. It was so good to see you again too. Yeah, it was good. The Kickstarter video brief was Star Citizen or CR in front of an early game footage. I fully expect him to make some virtual production work for marketing. I do too, but based off of, and I'm going to show this again, this is the thing that makes me a little concerned. For Squad 42, our priority remains quality and polish as we move towards beta and release. We're confident in the direction the game's headed and are fully focused on delivering. We know that many of you are eager to play, and we're looking forward to putting it in your hands. We don't plan on having a long, drawn-out marketing campaign, as we've already done our own our share of trailers and gameplay previews. I don't think that's getting any bigger. Of course Henry Cavill would play Squadron 42. It's a PC game. It's his sort of game. Good cognac really helps with cap a good office hours. Yeah, we'll be finishing us up here shortly. But that's the thing that it's not that the fact that they didn't say they said they don't plan for a long drawn out marketing campaign. It's the excuse, which is as we've already done our share of trailers and gameplay previews. That scares the fuck out of me. D, are you surprised no ship this patch? I am a little surprised, but not super surprised. Like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this, Chris? You know that anyone who watched the trailer in the prologue in 2023 watched the prologue in 2023 fucking forgot it existed. They were like, that's fucking amazing. I can't wait for this to come out. And then they fucking forgot about it. You have to remind them that it fucking exists. Dear God, my man. Please. Thank you, David. Thank you, Dave. Let me know. And remember, please tell me and send it to me. Find someone and send it to me. I want to know. They don't need a ton of marketing. Most people who are going to play Squadron 42 know about it. That's a problem, because that means they're not going to sell much. There's like 1 million people who will buy the game, possibly. Let's just say 500,000. But like just from what they know, but that's not a lot. Not for scale and size of Star Citizen. And that's a big maybe 500,000, because we've had 1 million citizens since they stopped selling Squadron. This is the one time we would like marketing to make the decision. I don't know. Maybe they are making the decision because they're telling them bad things. I don't fucking know. There's a lot more people who'd be like I would be over the moon if Squadron sold 1 million copies on day one or on the first month. That's very unlikely. To give you context, again, I've been falling down a lot of Ace Combat stuff, but Ace Combat 7 is the most played Ace Combat ever, and it reached 6 or 7 million copies in 2022 or 2023. It was released in 2019. Before that, it was like 4 million copies. That was Ace Combat 4. Back in like 2005. Or 2001. Exactly, Fluid. If you read the comments of IGN, the IGN video of the prologue, there's a lot of people who don't know it existed, which is great. But then you got to remind them that it exists when you're selling it. Most of those who haven't already purchased Star Citizen know it as a scam, Agent. That's what put it. And there is a market for this. One of the big markets you can already see, because Squadron 42 is a flight game where you fly around and fight things, but it's also an FPS. It's also a light RPG. It's like every other Wing Commander that Chris has ever made. But it's closer to a Mass Effect style space game than it is a pure flight game. Which means there's a huge audience out there of Mass Effect fans who are waiting for something like this. And then I get that with the Expanse game, or the other game that's coming out that I keep forgetting the name of. But both of those are delayed to 2027. So with Exodus, yeah. But both of those games won't be out until next year. I feel like Squadron 42 will sell a lot of copies just purely off of naysayers trying to see if it's bad. Possibly. But it's you need to break it out of the shell it's currently in. There's just not a lot of people who actively know about it. And you need to remind people that it's there. And again, normally I would say that's fine. You do a small advertising campaign to remind people it's there. But that comment right there makes me fucking worried. This worries the fuck out of me. No, I get it. They want to be a now game, but you need to have advertisements for it. You need to run ad campaigns. You need to run trailers. You need to do other things. Utilize the star power you have to help promote the game a little bit. I'm not saying like late night show to be nice, but just having them do a fucking video talking about it with other people, you know? CIG has a marketing team of qualified marketing experts, and they definitely have internal projections for how Squadron 42 will perform. Marketing spending factors in that lack of past factors in that on a lack of past related release titles. Luna, no offense, but you're treading on my territory now. I'm sure they do, but I have seen plenty of marketing teams make mistakes based off of assumptions rather than data. And a lack of past release titles. And normally I would have said, yeah, totally, I get it. Up to now I've been saying I expect them to do this long at this time because of the status of it being a new IP and all these kind of things. But then this comment makes me go, what the fuck is going on? God damn it. I don't want to worry about this. I don't think there should be any correlation between Squadron 42 and Star Citizen, mainly for the fact that Squadron 42 players does come over. They'll be disappointed with the bugs since they haven't been marinated with the BS. It's also important to remember that there's a different type of gamer that plays a single player experience and a multiplayer experience. They sometimes coalesce. I play single player games all the time. I play multiplayer games all the time, but I am a unique unicorn, I guess you could say. There's plenty of people like me, though, out there that exist, but there are also a large number of people who only play single player games who only play multiplayer games. There are plenty of people who play Star Citizen who have very little to no interest in playing Squadron, and vice versa. And video games at large have that. I would argue that most of the space dads in Star Citizen right now are single player type. Yeah, they tend to be talking more like a single player game, for sure. The audience for this type of interactive movie game may need to grow over time. People aren't used to it. I'm concerned that the lack of promotion will lead to a lack of knowledge, which will lead to a lack of exposure, of, you know, which will lead to a lack of sales. And that lack of sales will be used as a cudgel to say Squadron 42 failed because it didn't get X number of units. Look how bad it is. Look how few people are playing it. Even if it's a good game that has no bugs. Does CR have his thumb on the marketing decisions the same way he does with the dev decisions? He's the chairman of the board and the CEO. What do you think? Yeah, Liam Cunningham is another good one. And not to be rude to you, Luna, but I have many years of experience working in marketing. Just because I don't have a degree doesn't mean I don't have actual practical experience in the field. Degrees aren't always the thing to mark experience or to mark expertise by. Granted, not exactly digital marketing or video games, but I have enough experience in both, and my experience in marketing to kind of fill out most of that. Degrees are important for sure, but there's plenty of degrees who fuck up on marketing. This degree doesn't mean you're good at what you do. Like by me saying I worked in marketing, I worked for companies that did marketing. Not just did marketing, like I worked for marketing companies. I did marketing research for them. I sat in, did pitch decks, that kind of thing. Anywho. Well, I have a professional degree. Nobody without a degree in any field is an expert. I have cashiers. It doesn't make them pharmaceutical experts. Okay. Luna, I'll see you in a day or so. You can say that I'm not an expert, it's fine. But saying my experience doesn't matter, go fuck yourself. Like, I get it. I understand it. But you're basically saying I'm lying, if it was what you're saying. Which to my response is, I have no idea who you are, Luna, in reality. You are but a person in a room claiming to be an expert on something that I have no experience with. So at this point, everyone is an expert and no one's an expert. Paul, what do you think if Squadron 42 is bundled with AMD CPUs? It might help a little bit, but that's not really the issues. My degrees are in history and political science, and I marketed FIFA World Cups. Experience in the end trumps academy, no doubt. Thank you, Sirius. I forgot you were also in the field, so you understand what I'm talking about as well. There's a couple of people in the community who I've talked to who have experience, and I think almost all of us were in the same boat. I would love to trust CIG and say that they know what they're doing, but that comment makes me scared because I understand that the saturation, the understanding of the game isn't there. It's like, you need that. Please. And I'm also, before we kind of end the whole thing, before we get, before end everything, before I go to end the stream, the important thing that also has been in the back of my head that I know, and this is something that I think is a dangerous pattern, is most game developers that I've met do not understand or care to understand the importance of marketing and would prefer to just release the game when it's done. Because once it's done, they can release it and they can move on to another topic. It's very, very intellectual or a very creative brained process. If that makes sense. More and more seem to be relying on third-party platforms to do promotion, such as Steam and wish lists. Those help, and that's why 99% of indie games don't break even. But it's not just an indie game thing. It happens in bigger shots too. Like, I remember reading an article, an interview with Todd Howard, where he said his goal in life is to release a game, to build a game entirely in secret and release it without any marketing. And it's a trend that I'm concerned about with this statement. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to do my best to not harp on this anymore in the coming year until we get more information. The last I will say about this is I hope CIG knows what they're doing, but I have concerns on that factor. Yes. Platforms are ever present. The strategy is required. We can only hope CIG has fully fleshed one out. Exactly. Exactly. Velocity is a good point. Titanfall 2, that's a good example. That's a release. It had plenty of marketing, but it was a release issue and other things like that, you know. I hope you get more information. That information is serving. I'm hoping this is just Chris doing a Chrisism, because Chris does this a lot. He says things. He just says shit. And I could be wrong, could be right. We'll see. But I will end with the happy note, which is that at the very end of the day, CIG doesn't really need to do anything but make Squadron good. The player base will pull it as kicking and screaming into the limelight in some way, shape, or possible, as long as it's decent and has lots of legs. As long as it's supported beyond its release and continues to get small updates, fixes, that kind of thing, going forward over the course of a year or so. It was never going to be a game that's going to sit there and sell like 4 million copies in a day or in the first week. That's just not how games are made. It's not how games are sold. If it did like 100,000 units in a week, it would be fucking spectacular. I just want to make sure it doesn't end up like King of Meat, where its peak concurrency is 300 people. I thought it was you content creators who were going to be the promotion side. That's a mistake. As I said at the very beginning of the stream, King of Meat paid for fucking Mr. Beast to do an elaborate video to help promote their game, and they got a maximum concurrent rate on Steam of 300 people on one day. Relying on content creators to be the promotion solely is a mistake. You've never heard of it, JD. Guarantee it. It's a real game, though. We pull it up. $320. All-time high. It was released on October 2nd. Well, Mr. Beast was giving away $250,000 in his video with this game. And the fact that you got a sponsored stream from Mr. Beast means it's more than whatever $320 gets you. Its owner estimations is at best 24,000. Maybe it wasn't very good, possibly, but it's a good example of just why you don't just pay for content creators to do advertising for you and expect it to work. It's got a mostly positive review, so it's definitely not a bad game. Oh yeah, and Velocity, you're getting a degree in marketing, aren't you? Probably wasn't engaging enough. CIG's biggest hurdle will be to have Star Citizen and good spot for when Squadron 42 comes out. I mean, that'll matter, but I think Squadron being in a good spot when Squadron comes out is probably the most important. Europe and I ton. So as somebody with a credential in this, since apparently not having a credential means you don't know shit. Is the statement made by Chris Roberts about them having enough trailers and promotions, is that a good or a bad thing in your opinion? Absolutely, but the idea of getting those players in Star Citizen make the big B bucks, I think that'll happen eventually, especially if Squadron does well over time. Like, the big thing to note is the first time Squadron goes on sale on Steam for a steep discount will be its big rush. You'll see a huge rush of people come in who wouldn't come in through the initial. Imagine if Cyberpunk relied on the TTRPG Cyberpunk 2020 fan base. Yeah, exactly. They heavily relied on Keanu. You had Witcher 3 had its own bonuses. Yeah. And that's just wrong. Brand awareness is in the toilet or non-existent. Not being anywhere and stealth dropping it would be like calling everyone on Tuesday for your wedding that's 3 hours. Yeah. Thank you. Now, I want to believe that the people who run Star Citizen's marketing aren't going to do that for Squadron. I seriously hope that. It's just that statement scares the fuck out of me. Arc Raiders finally on sale, but why bother now? It's a little different from that. Ace Combat 7 is on sale for $4. Go buy it, by the way, if you haven't played an Ace Combat game before. You'll like it. I guarantee it. For $4, you'll like it. And almost guarantee you that there's more people getting Ace Combat 7 now than did it initially at the release because of its being on sale and Ace Combat 8 was announced. And Ace Combat 7 is like 21 missions, I want to say. Each mission's about 30 minutes to an hour, so it's a good solid 10 to 11 hours of gameplay. So you'll see a spike in Steam players because it's a shortish game with high with a single player that you can come back to. Yes, their marketing team has done an objectively good job of achieving their goals so far, which is why that statement scared me. CIG acts like they're Blizzard. They act like CR's name carries as much weight for the mass market as they aren't. They have no game except for the scam spaceship one, and they gotta get ahead of it. They should be doing leveraging as much of the market as they have, especially with big names like Henry Cavill, Mark Hamill, to do, I know it's not as big as it used to be, but Luke Skywalker plays a space game, flies a spaceship in real life, would probably be a clickbaity enough title that someone's going to watch it. Gillian Anderson, the ultimate Dami Mommy. Yeah. To be fair, Welfany, he didn't actually compare Squadron 42 to to GTA 6. The dude he was talking to was a tech writer, and he was trying to use, it was clear he was trying to use a example that the tech writer would understand. So he said something like, we hope it would be as big as GTA 6, or not even hope it's big. We hope it would be as big of an impact as GTA 6 or something like that. It wasn't even that crazy. Did Origin do that with Wing Commander 3 or 4? I can't remember. Yeah. And that's just one avenue. That's not talking about how you should have it being played by people online, at least like through demos at different conventions. Get Mark Hamill to play Blue Hair. I don't know if they did that or not. I wasn't actively involved at that point, but yeah. Relying on content creators and online community to get the word out is like talking in Morse code in modern times. It's not a bad tactic. It can work. And it does work. It's just one avenue of multiple parts that you're supposed to push. All right. I'm going to close this out. I'm going to go to bed. It's almost almost 11 p.m. here. I got to get up super early and do a bunch of stuff with the family. So I will be seeing you all after Christmas. So happy holidays to all of you who celebrate. Enjoy yourselves. I will see you again on Friday. We're going to get up bright and early on Friday morning, probably about 9 a.m. Eastern, which is 2 p.m. European time or British time. So that's like $6 a.m. Pacific. And we'll be doing a stream for at least 4 hours, if not up to 8. We'll be doing us kind of a mini pubathon. We'll be doing that on Saturday, Sunday, and next Monday as well. It's going to wrap up the year and hang out and do some giveaways. And like I say every time, hope to see you someday. The Black. Make sure to check out the video of this one. It'll be posted tomorrow, or it'll be posted on Wednesday.